Okay, slight technical difficulties. So we had a little skip in the internet. So I'm gonna back up just a smidge, but just trying to find where we left off. So in Warrior 2, I believe is where we're at. So coming back to Warrior 2, let's go ahead and pause here for a few breaths if you haven't already. I'm not quite sure where the video cut off, but I think we're in Warrior 2. Just letting the shoulders relax, arms reaching to the side, palms are facing down. Now, if the shoulders or arms are tired, hands can always come to the hips. Still gazing off over the left leg, looking out about shoulder height. And then from here, we'll take reverse warrior. So if the arms are out, think about flipping that left palm, reaching it up and back. Letting the gaze go wherever's most comfortable for you. Keeping those strong warrior 2 legs. Notice they didn't move when I came into reverse warrior. And then from here, we'll go ahead and come back to warrior 2. Now we're going to straighten the front leg. You might even heel toe the back foot in slightly with the toes turned in to come into triangle. So think about sitting back into the right hip, reaching the arms out. When you're ready, reaching forward with the left hand. It might drop down to the thigh. It might reach down lower. If you have blocks, you can always stack them, letting your hands reach toward the block or chair. Right arm opens up. And the most important thing is when we come into this triangle shape is we keep the shoulders facing forward and we just tip toward the side. You're going to feel some work in the obliques. You're going to feel some work on that left inner thigh. Deep breath in here. Slowly start to release. Take your time slowly to pivot back toward the front of your mat. Deep breath in, arms can reach up. As you exhale, we'll slowly start to step that back foot forward. It might take a step or two before you get there. Pausing at the top of your mat in mountain pose. And when you're ready, we'll do the other side. Just stepping the left foot back now. Putting the foot parallel to the back of the mat, right toes are facing forward, hips are facing the left side of the mat. We've got that gentle bend in the knee, making sure it's not going past the ankle. When you're ready, hands can stay here to the hips, arms can reach out to the side with the palms facing down, and then our gaze is going to turn over top of the right hand, just taking a few breaths here. Shoulders are relaxed back into socket. And when you're ready, reverse warrior. Keep the legs where they're at. We're going to flip the right palm, reach up and back. Again, letting the gaze go wherever is comfortable. Some people like to look up, others like to look straight ahead. So finding what works for you. One more breath here. And when you're ready, back to warrior 2. Take a deep breath in. Go ahead and straighten both legs. We might heel toe that back foot in. Toes are turned slightly inward, so just narrowing that stance. When you're ready, think about staying back into the left hip. Arms are reached out. Deep breath in as we reach forward the right hand. It might drop down to the thigh. It might drop down a little lower if you have blocks or chair. Or you might reach that hand down to the earth. So notice my shoulders just went to the side. I didn't turn my body at the waist at all. I just tipped over to the side. Taking a few breaths here. When you're ready, deep breath in, back to center. You might pause for a breath here before we slowly start to pivot back to the front of our mat. Just take your time. And then when you're ready, deep breath in, arms can reach up. As we exhale, we'll sweep them Down to the side, pausing at the top of your mat. Taking a few breaths here. All right, from here, let's go ahead and move our way into some balancing. So for this part, if you have some wall space nearby, you can use that. You can also use the chair, or you don't have to use any props if you would like not to. We're going to do a shape today called hand to knee. There's a couple different variations, and I'll kind of walk you through that, and then we'll try to add on a little bit, doing a couple different rounds of this shape. So when you're ready, if you're using a chair, it could really be any chair. I'm just going to borrow this one right now. So you'll want to stand to the side of the chair, and whatever side of the chair you're on, that's what foot is going to plant to the earth. So I'm going to mirror you, planting my left foot to the earth, and I've got the chair to my left side. Standing nice and tall, shoulders are rolled back at the socket. I've got a focal point to look at that'll help with your balance. So it might be something straight ahead. Some people like to look where the wall and ceiling meet. Others might look down toward the earth. So finding which works best for you. We've got left foot planted to the earth. We're going to bring the right toe to the earth and lift the heel just a little bit here. So pause here. Notice how that feels. You might even be able to release that hand from the chair. Engage in the core, stay nice and tall. Now, if you're wanting more challenge, you can always flex that foot and just let it hover off the ground slightly. Again, engage in the core, using the core muscles to pull that foot up, not leaning back. You might even be able to bring that knee a little bit up higher, a little closer to parallel. All right, let's take our time. Slowly bring it down. Kind of shake the legs out a bit, and then we're going to try it on the other side. So switching over to the other side now, planting down the right foot, finding your posture, finding your focal point, and then when you're ready, you can bring left toe tap to the earth, heels lifted. Again, if you want a little more challenge, you can always flex the foot and let it hover. You might even be able to bring that knee up a little higher so the thigh is closer to parallel to the ground. Hand could always release from the chair here if you'd like to challenge the balance, or you keep it glued to the chair. One more breath here if you can. And then we'll slowly start to release it down. Give the legs a little shake out. So let's try that one more time. And we're going to add on or create slightly different shape this time. So resetting, planting left foot to the earth, left hands to the chair, finding our posture, finding our focal point, and then we'll come into that shape that we created at first, toe to the earth, heels slightly lifted, and then let's see if the hips allow, if we can open the leg out to the side. Just moving the body in just a little different of a shape to create a little bit more challenge. So toe might stay tapped to the earth here, or you might flex the foot and just let it hover. Again, you might be able to bring the knee up. This hand might help hold the leg in front or back. Some people hold on to the knee. And then you can always release at any point in time or keep the hand to the chair. Let's take a few more breaths here. If you can, remember to release at any time that you need to. Just listening to your body. If you haven't already, go ahead and bring everything back through center. Slowly step it down. All right, let's try that on the other side. Sometimes we'll have one side that's a little bit easier than the other. That's okay. Sometimes it just depends on the day. So planting now the right foot down, right hand to the chair. We're finding our posture, finding our focal point when you're ready. Toe is tapped to the earth, heel is lifted, and then we're going to see if we can bring that hip open slightly. Again, you can flex the foot and let it hover. If you have blocks, you could always utilize them a little bit here, other than using the hand to help hold the leg. All right, slowly start to bring it back to center and then release it. Give it a little shake out. All right, so now we're going to take a little bit of time to come back to our mats for a little bit of a final stretch before we move down for our Shavasana or our resting time at the end. So go ahead and make sure before you come to your mats, you have all your props. So if you have a strap, you have blocks, if you have a blanket, bring it all with you. And then just coming down to your mat, whichever way is easiest for you. All right, so let's start here. I'm going to face you again. So just sitting nice and tall. It might be something where it feels nice to bring a blanket underneath your hips to give you a little space if you're still a little tight. And then from here, we're just going to take the right foot, draw that right foot in toward the thigh, sitting nice and tall. Now the foot doesn't have to be as high up as mine is. It could be down toward the knee because we're seated, so we're not applying any pressure on the knee. That's a safe position. From here, hands can be to the earth or to the blocks. We're going to take time for a little bit of a forward fold. Just slowly starting to tip forward as a flat back. So with our stretching here at the end of class, we just want to make sure we're feeling a little work, but we don't want any sharp pain or any pinching. Remember to breathe deep into these stretches. Listening to your body. Next inhale, take your time to slowly start to rise yourself up. We're going to bring the right foot to the earth. Remember, I'm mirroring you. So right foot's come to the earth, right hand to the earth, left elbow comes across the knee, creating a spinal twist here. So if that's a little too deep, the hand can just hold on to the knee as we turn our gaze to the right. And take a deep breath in back through center. Good. Slowly release. Bring that leg nice and long. Other leg now. Try it in toward the thigh. Sitting nice and tall. And if you want to use the blocks here, flat back as we slowly start to tip forward, finding where that stretches. Pausing there, just taking a few breaths. And when you're ready, deep breath in, sitting nice and tall, bringing the left foot flat to the earth, left hand to the earth, and then right elbow or right hand can come over to the knee as we turn our gaze to the left. On your next inhale, bring everything back to your center. And then from here, we're going to slowly start to make our way back onto our backs. We're going to do a couple of sets of working bridge before we come into a restorative bridge here today. So just take your time to roll on back. You'll want to make sure you have a block or pillow or blanket, whatever you like to use for your restorative bridge, nearby. So setting up for that bridge, we're going to walk the feet close to the rear, bringing the arms to the side, shoulders are pressed into the earth, head and neck are relaxed. When you're ready, take a deep breath in, pressing the feet to the earth, engage in the core, slowly starting to lift the hips, one vertebra at a time. We'll see if we can pause here and take a few breaths. Coming down when you're ready, just slowly, if you can, one vertebrae at a time. And then once you get all the way down to the earth, just let the knees gently windshield wiper side to side, releasing any tension you might have held as you were lifting. And let's take one more set here. So resetting the feet, arms are to the side, palms are facing down. When you're ready, deep breath in, pressing into the earth, engage in the core, slowly lifting the hips, one vertebra at a time. And then when you're ready, lower it down. Let the knees windshield wiper again, side to side. From here, we'll take that supported bridge. So finding whatever prop you want to use, whether it be a block, you could always use a pillow, or you can roll up a blanket, bringing it under the lower part of the back. So once you're ready, just bringing that nearby, taking a deep breath in, pressing into the feet, lifting the hips up one vertebrae at a time, and then you'll take that prop, whatever it may be, sliding it underneath the lower back. You might have to move it around a little bit. It might not feel super comfortable at first, but just find a position that does feel comfortable. And if it doesn't, you could just completely leave it out. Arms are to your side now while the hips are resting to the block. So we're in that supported bridge shape. You can always stay right here. You could bring one foot up at a time for that shoulder stand variation. Or it might feel nice to bring one leg long at a time to deepen into, take a deeper back bend. Also just releasing some muscles through the groin there as you take one leg long at a time. Just finding what works for you. We'll pause here for a few more breaths. And then when you're ready, just take your time to slowly bring everything back down to the earth. If you've got a prop underneath the lower back, slowly start to lift the hips so you can remove that prop and lower down again, very slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Knees can windshield wiper. You might hug one or both knees in at a time here. Moving through any final stretches that your body might be calling for before we take our final shape for Shavasana. Taking the last few moments of class just to relax and just take in all the work that you've done. So it might be a shape similar to how you started, maybe with the legs stretched out long, arms to your side with the palms facing up. You might bring a blanket over top of you to bring a little more comfort. You might have the eyes closed here. Maybe the knees come together with the feet wide for that constructive rest, or maybe the feet come together with the knees wide for balanced angle for a little more hip opening. Any other shape that brings you comfort, just take your time to move into that shape. Again, you might close the eyes. Just pausing here, finding some stillness in the body. Our reading today is this: the secret to living well is never to do as much as you can. Many of us measure our self-worth by how much we can accomplish each day. Consider this: our worth is not based on an accomplishment, but on our existence as a whole human being. Today, resolve to do 10% less and enjoy yourself more. The secret to living well is never to do as much as you can. All right, let's go ahead. If you haven't already, slowly start to take some time to find awareness back into your body. That might mean hugging the knees into the body. It might mean giving the knees a little rock side to side. Any final movement, final stretch. And then when you're ready, just take some time to roll off to one side, maybe using your arm as a pillow. And taking a few deep breaths before pressing up to a comfortable seated position. I'd like to thank you all so much for taking time to join me today, and thank you for taking the time for yourself. It is with great respect. Namaste. Thanks again. I will see you all again real soon. Have a good day. Bye.